introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, James, the Mayor of Gosford!
My style was very much, I had one direction. I went forward until either I won or I got dropped. That was my style. I never went backwards, I never went sideways. I was just a forward pressure fighter. I relied on my fitness, I relied on my power, I relied on being able to ultimately bully an opponent into submission. That was my single style, and it works a lot because I'm tenacious, but there was also then the situation where if I came up against somebody more technically astute, would I be able to have the elements and tools to deal with that, and movement, and potentially actually being the defensive fighter, being the counter striker and otherwise. And so I started to think more around different situations and different scenarios. You know, the final night before the fight, we were in this ring here and we just did a captain's run. We just had gloves on, moved around, what's the first 10 seconds look like to understand what might happen. But it was for me having that confidence in the later weeks of the training camp to not only have the fitness, the technique down pat, but also the fighter mindset, actually looking for counters, understanding the concept of counter striking, throwing when you can't see where the targets are, knowing when to fire a counter shot, slipping and moving around to actually avoid getting struck as opposed to just winning via attrition. And so that to me really came on strong in those final weeks, almost in a hockey stick style of learning, whereby week upon week it was just a compounding effect of the techniques, thoughts and processes that Armin taught me. And the good thing was as I was fitter and fitter, I could take more on and learn more, notwithstanding I was putting my body through some very high degree of extremities at that point in time as well.
Well, the game plan was to start strong, to show the guy's power, intensity and body shots in the first round, to get the guard to come down and then follow up to the head. And he executed it perfectly. Threw some nice body shots. I think the first knockdown was a right hook after a body shot, and finished the fight in the second round. Not a bad result.
I think for me, when I got to fight night, when we did the captain's run the night before, that was already in a way a sense of victory for me. I'd made it through an absolute intense camp, and the camp is the much harder part of any fight program. That is really where the fight is, and I couldn't have given any more to that whole process. And so I was at a level of calmness and satisfaction that no matter what happened in the ring, I had already achieved what I wanted out of that process regarding the commitment of time, understanding the art. You can always get caught by a lucky shot, which is unfortunate, but I was at peace with what the outcome would be because I knew I was well prepared. I knew that I couldn't have been any better prepared for that fight as a result of the work that Armin put into me, and that I also committed to and drove, and the rest of the team here as well in getting me ready. And so there was a degree of calmness in the fact of where I was with my family and friends immediately, 15 minutes before the fight. When it was time to get in, it was a fight before, probably about 6 or 7 minutes prior to that. That's when it was gloves on, mouth guard in, and really start to psych up and get ready. I didn't want to waste energy early, and walked into the ring when the bell rang. We'd already walked through it the night before. Move forward, shuffle to the right, let him throw a couple of jabs, and then let him have every bit of power I've got. And he wasn't ready for that level of power, he wasn't ready for that level of technique. But there was a whole bunch of combinations that I didn't even realise that I was throwing, which was just muscle memory from what we'd done. And so the camp had prepared me so much for that process, and it really showed.
Round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, your referee has waved the contest off 11 seconds into round number 2 for your winner by TKO, James, the Mayor of Gosford! Hey! Is there anyone that you want to thank?
Super quickly, I dedicate this fight tonight to my siblings, my sister who lost the battle with life last year, dying of cancer. I miss you and I love you, and to my younger brother who's battling his own demons at the moment. I love you, mate, and I really hope you pull through this. I love you, thank you. Couldn't have done it without you. Locker room guys are amazing. The support from my family and friends and to my beautiful wife, Lan. Sorry, I won't sign up again without asking you. Thank you.